This is a TalkStation original podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Paper Boys podcast. I'm JJ Smith.
And I'm Zach Nally.
We're joined in studio today by Mr. Wes Collins. Thanks for being here.
Good to be here, guys.
So why are we talking to Wes Collins? Well, before we get to why we're going to talk to him, first of all, we want to thank Wes for two things. Number one is him and his wife produced two standout athletes of West Carter that were fun to cover, so that's helpful. And then number two, he's an attorney with Harvell & Collins, who have been long-time advertisers with the News Times, and if you don't have advertisers, you don't have a newspaper. So thank Harvell & Collins for having a newspaper.
JJ, appreciate it, JJ.
Yeah,
Yep. We love Carteret County,
and that's a welcome for anybody else that wants to advertise with the News Times. Bring it on. Just follow the lead of Harvell & Collins. So the reason we have Wes on is because he's a Kinston guy, played basketball at the most prestigious, I guess you could call it, high school in the country when it comes to in the state, or maybe even the country when it comes to high school basketball. And not only was he a Kinston high school basketball player, but his teammate was Jerry Stackhouse.
Yep, Jerry and I played together. He was 2 years younger, and we still are close today and talk a good bit. And man, that guy's parlayed it. He's still in it. He's a Golden State Warrior coach, and then coached at Vandy and G League, and played in the league for 18 years. Was two-time All-Star and 95 Sports Illustrated Player of the Year. So I was surrounded by greatness when I was 16, 17 years old. I didn't know it.
Dig me with this gray hair, but I'm trying to be like one of the cool kids and having TikTok. And I just made a TikTok the other day about Bam Adebayo after he scored the 83 points.
Yeah, right.
I said I was blessed to be able to cover him like 6 times in high school because they were in Northside Pinetown was in the same conference as East Carteret, and because he was one of the top 10 recruits in the country, even the away games, I made sure to go cover them.
Right.
And I said that I knew he was going to play in the NBA, and that doesn't make me a wonderful talent evaluator or anything.
Didn't need a crystal ball.
No, that was obvious. What I didn't know was he's going to be all kind of like you just rattled off with Jerry Stackhouse. I didn't know he was going to be a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time gold medal winning Olympian, going to lead his team to the NBA Finals twice, was going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year like 5 years in a row, now scored 83 points, was the second all-time behind Wilt Chamberlain. So I asked the same question to you. You probably knew Jerry was going to do something. Did you know that he was going to be what he ended up being?
You know, I get that question pretty often when Jerry comes up. And I remember Jerry and I played rec ball together. So we were on the 11 and 12-year-old team together at Fairfield in Kinston. Our team was Maryland. That was our team. I think our coach's name was Linwood Lee. I remember all this stuff. So Jerry, I'm a couple years older. I'm like a year and a half older than Jerry. So I was on the older side. He was on the younger side. He was still one of the better players, no doubt, although he was on the younger side. So he went to middle school out in the county at Savannah was the school. So I didn't see him for like 2 years, maybe 3 years. So I started hearing about this stuff like, Jerry's like scored, this kid, Stackhouse, he scored 35 points in the middle school game. And, at this point in time, I'm like a sophomore in high school, and I'm thinking I'm, Mr. Big Shot, whatever. I wasn't, but I thought I was. And so he shows up the summer between my sophomore and junior year as a freshman, and he had grown to about the size he is now. I mean, he's a 6'6", long arms, shoulders as wide as the door, dunking any way he wants to. And he was just in like that 2-year period, maybe 3-year period of time, he had just gone from a boy to a man, in a very, maybe 3 or 4 year period of time, actually, as I'm thinking about it. So it was pretty obvious, but, you don't know at that point in time because, you watch any college basketball game, any kind of level, there's guys that look like him. There's guys that are wide-shouldered and big hands and long arms and move well and do all that. How do you get to that level, though? I don't know. I didn't know it when I was 16, 17 playing with him. I knew he was the best player on the team. Even though he was a younger guy, I think his freshman year, I think he broke the North Carolina State scoring record as a freshman. That's what everybody said, so I've never looked it up, but I think that's right. And so he was pretty unbelievable. But, what experience did I have? I was just a young kid from Kinston playing basketball and doing the best I could, and I thought that he was pretty amazing, and I was really happy to have him on our team. And he was, a good friend of mine, and that's all I knew. But it wasn't shocking when he went to Carolina and ended up being
Okay.
who he ended up being.
Yeah.
It's just I just didn't have the perspective to know.
Right.
So again, like I said, it wasn't shocking, because he was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
In practice, I tried not to guard him. We had a guy who was Scott Wood. He was a 6'9" kid there in Kinston. He was a lot slower than Jerry and not as strong. I wanted to guard Scott Wood, not Jerry.
You want to look good in practice.
Yeah. No offense to Scott if he happens to listen to this. I think he lives like in Greensboro or something.
Okay.
But,
I think enough time has passed.
yeah, maybe. If it gets
Limitations.
I might get a text on that one at some point in time if it comes across his desk or whatever.
But then when he went to the NBA and was making all-star teams,
Yeah.
and, you were just like, wow, this is crazy, right?
Well, I think it's a combination of the family, because that Stackhouse Dawson family, they produced a lot of great athletes.
They're kind of the same family there?
Yeah. Mhm,
Okay.
Yep. So Tony Dawson, his brother, was one of the many guys who played in the NBA.
Okay, right.
He's a little bit older. He played at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Really good player. A little bit bigger than Jerry. Jerry's about 6'5.5", 6'6", framed out NBA frame. He's a little taller than I am, just slightly, but I don't have an NBA frame at all. I look like a swimmer maybe. but anyway, Tony was a great player, and but Jerry is just he's smart. He's smart. He has always known how to make himself valuable in any part of his life, whether it's basketball, business, whatever. And that's one of the ways he ended up playing for 18 years. Well, when you get kind of toward the end of your career, you're not putting up 30 points anymore. You're not, he was like the NBA scoring leader with Allen Iverson, 1 and 2, 1 or 2 years. But you're not doing that anymore. But what he really got good at is banging corner threes, which he was an okay shooter, younger but not a great shooter, and getting to the rim and getting fouled and getting to the free throw line and shooting like 90% from the free throw line. And so his stats were really good, and he was a really good, my understanding, really good locker room presence. Mm-hmm. So when you had the younger guys come in and they maybe don't have the grounding, and kind of the foundation that someone like Stackhouse does with Jerry has a, very, very stable married life and 3 beautiful kids. Ramirez is his wife, and I know his kids, and they've come and stayed here in Moorhead with us. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and my wife Darlie is friends with Ramira. That stability is something that I think is valuable on the NBA team when you got 18, 19, 20-year-olds come in and all these people want all their time, and, they've got the entourage and all this stuff going on that's hard to deal with. I think that creates value too. So that's kind of off the path of what you asked me. But Jerry's just been real smart. And then now here he is still in it. He's still in it, coaching with Steve Kerr. Yeah, Steve Kerr out in Golden State.
Wow.
So he's right there with Steph Curry every day, which is pretty awesome. I hadn't been out there. I need to do that, but before I miss that opportunity. But he's just he's not one of these guys that you're going to hear, the bad story about where he didn't make good business decisions and ran out of money and went to Vegas and blew it all and all that kind of stuff, And so that stability, and that comes from being just, I think, a smart guy in general, just innately. But he is very well grounded from his parents too. George has passed away, but his mom Minnie is still living. She was a pastor, the religion and faith was very strong in the Dawson and Stackhouse family. So, and I think that kind of shines through.
Yeah. Did you stay close the entire time, or did you lose contact and then come back together again?
Lost contact a little bit. Well, he just got so busy, in his prime years. I mean, it's just a lifestyle. He's on a jet somewhere all the time and doing all the things. He reached back out to me probably when he had 6 or 7 years left in the NBA. We've done some vacation stuff together a little bit, and so not a whole lot. I mean, it's not like I talk to him every day, but we stay in contact. And I'll give a shout out to Blue Ocean Fish Market here. David owns Tucker owns Blue Ocean Fish Market. He's a Carolina guy, and Jerry loves Wahoo. So I'm like his fish pimp. So,
You know where to get the good.
yeah, I mean, so I'm like, he texts me sometimes, so because he comes like at least once a year to his mom's house, and they have like a family reunion kind of thing in Kinston, and so he likes getting his fish from down here in Moorhead, and he trusts the quality product of Blue Ocean Market. So there you go, David.
Hey, we're always looking for sponsors for the podcast.
So
This episode
anyway,
is brought to you by-
yeah, Jerry's a good guy. Yeah, he's just been very successful, and he come from a little place like Kinston, and I looked up the stats because you guys called me or texted me yesterday, and it was like 1 out of every 52 high school players went to the NBA.
Literally just looking at that.
I mean, I didn't make it, but about 7 guys did, and it's unbelievable, and including like Brandon Ingram. I mean, one of the best ever, and Stackhouse, Cedric Maxwell. I've got a list, Reggie Bullock.
Yeah.
Exactly, Reggie Bullock's been unbelievable.
Well, even before Jerry, right?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
When it was
Charles
Granger
Shackelford.
and- that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The water in Kinston, right?
Yeah, and I was talking with Perry Tyndall just as we were walking in, the coach at Kinston High, because I wanted his perspective on why Kinston High School basketball is so good and why we produce these kind of players. And because my perspective is from, like I was telling you guys, 25 years ago, because that's when I lived in Kinston and played. I'm 53 now, so whatever that math is, 25, 30 years ago. And so, Perry basically said it's a cycle. He was kind of telling me as I was walking in the building here today that it's just, you got one guy who played back in the 70s, and now you're coaching their kid, and there's uncles and there's nephews, and it's all connected, and it's all that. It just continues to grow. And he also said it's so much deeper than what everybody realizes. Because everybody knows about the Brandons and the Jerrys and the Cedrics and the guys, the Charles Shackfords and all, Reggie Bullock, the guys, who went to the NBA. But there are so many college guys and so many guys who ended up playing overseas after college that it just goes, very, very deep in Kinston. Now, my perspective is the culture in Kinston is that basketball is almost like when I used to play in Kinston and played like pickup games at Holloway Center and a lot of the outdoor courts there, even at Kinston High School and Fairfield and different places that we played. Kinston basketball just in general is rougher. It's like kind of basketball and kind of wrestling or kind of football. I mean, it's like the respect that you want to get from everybody by being good is so important there. It's just a tougher atmosphere, just the way it is. It's not laid back. It's real serious, and also I think that the support, like of Kinston High School, the community, and the parents and the grandparents, families, they just support whatever the coaches say. We've always had good coaches. And they just are really, really supportive of that program. And there's a heck of a lot of really good basketball players in Kinston who get cut, who don't even make the team, and they've always just got really good players. They're deep, and so less to do there, maybe in some other places. So you're playing football or baseball or a lot of basketball, and so I think that helps too.
You bring it up. Brian Hanks wrote a great story for High School OT about the economic changes that had happened in Kinston from all roads leaving Kinston to DuPont left, the textiles left, and there wasn't a lot remaining. You have to wonder if things had not taken that turn, would it be a little bit different? But I mean, then again, I mean, I guess maybe not because of the success the school has had since they
still good
opened in 1970, right? I mean, I guess it really didn't make a difference.
It's still good. I mean, when I was there in very late 70s. Moved there and then grew up kind of in the 80s into the early 90s. That wasn't really the heyday of Kinston itself. The heyday of Kinston itself was tobacco.
Right.
Now that, I think, 60s, 70s, maybe even 50s, probably 60s, 70s.
DuPont, I mean, there was a lot of things happening.
It was popping.
Yeah.
And we had DuPont, but the tobacco was kind of going out a little bit. But then DuPont closed down after I was gone, and then there was a lot of focus on Global Transpark and that kind of thing. And so there was some, financial, economic issues, there in Kinston that's kind of hurt Kinston in general. But so I don't know. I just think it's kind of pervasive, though, as far as the basketball goes in the sports. I mean, it's just obviously they've just continued to crank out great teams. And here we are talking about Kinston, and, they won the state championship again last week. And they don't have really a Brandon Ingram on the team. I think last time they won it was Brandon Ingram.
It was four in a row, right?
Was it? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But is there? I mean, you guys know this better. Is there a Brandon Ingram on this team?
No, it's college kids probably.
Yeah, I guess I don't know much about the team, to be
there's
honest
no
with you.
NBA guys,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can tell you
It seems like most of the state championships has been an NBA guy, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And but a lot of them, I think some of them they had Reggie on several of them.
Yeah.
Bullock, and then so. But I don't know much about this team, but I know that whenever West played and when my son Kaysen played, it was always a track meet. I mean, those guys defended really well. They played hard, and I think Perry Tyndall just doesn't put up with them not defending hard. I mean, because everybody can go out and play defense and give effort on defense, and that's just a standard. And so it was always you need to be able to handle the ball and handle pressure, and they also are very skilled players. So they've just continued to rock and roll. And Perry is a great coach, and his son Webb, his brother Webb, who's a little older than him. I played with him at Kinston High School. He was a walk-on at UNC. Webb was. He's a smaller guy like Perry, not a real big guy, but he just kept working and got coached by Dean Smith for a year. That's pretty cool. And and his family's great. Perry's great. So Kinston's real lucky for Perry to have stuck there because he's a really good coach and does a great job with those kids, and probably some difficult background stuff he helps them through, and so really good for those kids, and great to see them have another state championship.
Yeah.
Well, and you brought it up. I mean, we're here because they won a state title.
Yeah, now's the time to talk to West.
Right. They beat Walkertown 80-54 in the 3A title game. It's their first time there since 2015. What's funny though is that despite
13 years since they were in the state final.
That's right.
But
despite all the success, it's not so much about titles in Kinston as it's about the talent they produce, because they're not even the school with the most state titles.
Second though, right?
To New Hanover.
Yeah.
Who's got 14. Can you name? I mean, just right off the top.
New Hanover.
Can you name a handful of top talent that's
true.
played in the NBA from New Hanover? Probably not.
No.
So it really is about the personnel they're putting out there, that when they go to college or when they play overseas, even if you don't make the NBA, if you're playing at Kinston, you've got a chance to go play some more basketball when you graduate.
Yeah, it definitely helps if you're coming out and you played there and you've been a good player. It may have helped me a little bit back in the day, but now it would help anybody coming out because there have been so many additional good players. And since I played state championship-wise, they probably won 8 of them or something like that. We did not win a state championship, by the way. I hate that question.
But that's what I'm talking about, is that it's not necessarily about that.
So was it your senior year?
My senior year, Jerry was a sophomore.
Lost in the regional final, right?
Is that like the one that sends you to
the state championship? So Final Four.
Yep. And I fouled out that game. I think I had 4 points.
Oh no!
And I fouled out.
You haven't thought about that even a little bit.
Not once.
Yeah, but so
overtime to Richmond County, right?
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. Yep, it wasn't my best performance, but I got to give it to Richmond County. I think that they played a heck of a basketball game, and Jerry played a pretty good game.
Yeah.
But that has given me a little bit of mileage with. I've talked to some high school teams before when they're like at the cusp of maybe a championship, like some local teams.
Okay.
West Carteret football team. I talked a little bit with our basketball team when Ellensworth was there, and those teams and stuff, and I kind of emphasized how important it is to realize where you are because you're not going to get this back. And it might be just one dive on the floor for a loose ball, one take a charge, one make the free throw, one thing to get you that state championship, because I didn't get there. I was close. And I had Jerry Stackhouse on my team who played for 18 years in the NBA. But that was the closest I ever got to a championship. And championships, like, you hear Coach K, for example, not to mix Coach K and Stackhouse. That's kind of like oil and water, maybe with Duke and Carolina. But when these high level coaches talk about championship, they kind of pause because it's serious. You know, it's not easy to get a championship at anything.
Takes a lot of luck.
In anything, exactly. And here we are on the cusp of the March Madness and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Only one gets to win it, man.
And the ball bounces funny, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And parlay that into my son's team. We kind of text a little bit about Kaysen. He played at West Carteret, good player, not college level player. Walked on it at Furman. Decided to put his name in the portal to see if he can get like a D2 type situation. Just stuck at it, kept working. Got to Furman at 169. He weighs over 190 now.
Oh, wow.
He lifts weights and
College training, huh?
that dude works hard. Yeah. He works hard.
What a real moment from Dad. Not a college player. Like no, but like
he wasn't. He just what he
put the work in. And you
to be a college player, you have to be kind of unbelievable now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I would be a college player.
Wow.
It's different. I mean, D2 is like D1 was,
Okay.
and high D1 is like NBA used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, championship wise, so he got an offer where he wanted to go, which was Anderson, and that was just a blessing. That came at the very last second because we didn't know what he was going to do. We thought he was just going to be hanging out at home for a little bit, So he got that offer, accepted that, and this year Anderson went 29-3. Talking about championships, they won the regular season championship. This is in the SAC, South Atlantic Conference, D2.
That's like Pembroke's in that? Right?
Lenore Ryan is in it.
Oh, Lenore Ryan.
UVA Wise.
Okay.
Some of these D2 teams, I'm learning a lot about them. I didn't know anything about them at all until my son started playing D2. So they won the conference championship. Conference tournament championship.
A regular season and tournament.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. They finished the season. I texted you number 8. They actually finished number 5 in the nation.
Wow.
And then they went to the NCAA tournament, lost first round. And it was one of those games that was like anybody could beat anybody at any time. We were at that game. I was like, man, I didn't know these guys we were playing I didn't think they were going to be this good. They couldn't miss. Like, they're going to be really good. Well, I watched them play the next game. They couldn't make. So they just made.
Caught them on that night.
That's one of those nights. So we lost by 3. And but what a great season, to win a championship, that's really special at any level. And so it's pretty cool for Kaysen to have stuck with it and to continue that grind and then have that experience. So it's pretty awesome. He's got a couple years left of eligibility, and we'll see where that goes. But we're having fun. Darlie and I are having fun watching our kids do their thing.
You're saying you're keeping it hot on the road, huh?
Yep. Between that and then Tyler is a high jumper at UNC, and she kind of bit the. She got bit by the injury bug a little bit because you may remember when she was a junior in high school here at West Carteret, she jumped 5'11", which was a big deal, and then went to the national championship in June. This was 2 years ago, 24, I guess. And that was in Philadelphia, the New Balance National Championship,
right.
And she won first place.
Yeah,
I mean that was everybody was there. People going to Kentucky, people going to Florida, people going to, and she wins. So that was kind of perfect for recruiting, because once she won the national championship, she could go where she wanted to. She didn't really want to go to way off somewhere. She kind of wanted to stay because we got good options around here, And the thing about high jump is, not like you're going to be on a 4x4 team. You need to be on the best one in the country. It's you. It's how high you jump. So she did visits at NC State, Duke, and UNC. And my family really my wife's family kind of runs deep with UNC. So the Duke visit was kind of like painful to go to it, but we had to go to it, And then after that visit, when we were driving back to Carteret County, Tyler was in the backseat of the car crying because it was a good visit.
Tough decision.
Tough decision.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but the last visit was a UNC visit, and it was the best visit. Their facilities are the best, and, out of those 3 schools, no doubt. But it wasn't just about that. Carolina's kind of a special place for our family, and coach's staff was great, and they offered her, for track and field, I didn't really know how it worked, but a lot of track and field college athletes are on like halves scholarships or
They don't give out
quarters.
many scholarships, yeah.
Not full. No.
Yeah. So they offered her a full because she was legit, and so she accepted that. And right around that time, she turned her ankle. So she had accepted, signed, and then her ankle was kind of messed up. So she didn't jump at all her senior year.
Not to be selfish, but one of my biggest bummers as a high school sports reporter in Carter County is her whole senior year just wiped out.
Yep.
Yeah. After
She
winning the
probably
national title.
could have jumped, and she was set to break some state records and do some special stuff. But her ankle just wasn't perfect, and it's just a sprained ankle. It wasn't like she had broken or blown her knee out or something like that. Certain things are more serious. But when you're a high jumper, your ankle's pretty important.
And she got a scholarship on the line.
And she already had that,
Right.
and the coaches knew that. It wasn't like the
better that than a walk-on where
Right.
a twisted ankle is the difference between
Yeah.
life and death there.
Right.
Sure.
The coaches knew she had turned her ankle, but it just took a while to get it right. And then when she got it right, she, being who she is, kind of just went crazy in the weight room. And when she couldn't jump with the ankle, she was working in the weight room. And so she had a little twinge to her back, and she had a little stress fracture in her back. And that took a while to heal. And so her first year at UNC, she had to really take some time off and let that heal.
So she had like 2 years back to back.
She
Wiped
did.
out. Wow, that's wild.
She did. So they redshirted her all season last year, and so she just cranked up this year and has done well. She has not gotten back to her old form yet. Probably just because track and field, I've learned this, you got to build up. You got to build up.
Steady build.
You got to build up. And a big part of it, I don't care if it's high jump, pole vault, triple jump, whatever it is training to the point where you maximize getting better, but don't injure anything. It's a fine line. So this year she's had some little tendonitis in her knee. I think that's just because she had to come back so abruptly after being off. And the rigors of the ACC, it's serious, and so it puts a lot of stress on the body. So I think that what she's learned more than anything else is that the off-season is so very important to build up your strength. So she'll be around here a little bit in Carteret County in Moorhead this summer, so you may see her over at Grant's working her ankles and her knees or at the sports center or wherever she is, because she's going to make sure her body is as durable as it can be. Yeah. So her this year she competed in, I think, 5 or 4 indoor events. First one she won first place. Second one she tied for first. Next one she got second. And then she went to Liberty, and she was having this just kind of a twinge thing, just bothering her leg a little bit. It wasn't a big deal. It was just something bother her. And she just couldn't jump well. And then, but 2 weeks later was the ACC championship, which is a huge deal because only 16 out of all the high jumpers make it. So she made it. And so we went to that. It was up in Boston, talking about burning the road up. Well, we didn't drive to Boston, but burn
the miles.
Burn the miles up. And so she didn't practice at all from Liberty to ACC championship because I guess she did some minor 4-step approaches, but not like really putting pressure because she just needed to rest. So we didn't know how she was going to perform. So she performed well. Not great, just well.
I think I saw 8th.
She got 8. She got the 4th highest jump out of anybody, but she missed it the first 2 times.
So
that puts you 8th.
Tiebreaker.
But 8th is points.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal if you're getting points for your track and field team at the ACC championship. So she got points. She jumped 5, 7 3/4. So, you kind of can see the difference. 2 years ago, or a year and a half previous, she was jumping 5'11", So she jumped 5'8 1/2 at the first meet. So that was good. Yeah. And I think that she'll be over 6 feet next year. She just got to build build herself back up. So it's been a learning process, but she's very healthy now. Everything's good, knock on wood. Lots of prayers, lots of being patient, lots of, kind of giving it to God and just persevering through it and realizing that kind of the life lesson right here with all of that is not go out and kill yourself in the gym, but you got to do it smart. You got to be focused in how you do it, not ding yourself up a little bit. Because if your knees bothering you a little bit or your ankles are bothering you a little bit, and that's the leg you jump off of, that's going to affect how you jump. I mean, it's like, every football player I think has got something that's hurting. Every basketball player's got something.
Hurting, right?
But you know what? If you're playing football or basketball, you can go out there and perform pretty well if you're just hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're a high jumper and you got to jump off of that ankle that's bothering you a little bit, it gets in your brain a little bit, gets in your head a little bit. So, you can kind of follow what I'm saying there.
Still speaks to how talented she is, that she's not where she wants to be and finished 8th in the ACC.
Yeah. And
that's pretty good.
And another thing I learned so much about the track and field. I knew nothing about track and field until my daughter started doing it at this level. You look at like everybody who is at the top of the ACC in any of these events. It could be long jump or high jump or pole vault or whatever. It's like this. It's like first place, senior; second place, senior; third place, senior; fourth place, junior; fifth place, senior. It's the ones who have been there for a while.
Yeah, got the technique, got the weight room,
got the durability,
uh-huh.
and have figured it out. And they're the best ones.
Gotcha.
And they've learned how to build that up. So
was she the only underclassman in the top
Yep,
8?
it went senior, junior, senior,
that?
junior, Tyler.
Wow,
So she,
freshman.
Yep, she's the number one high jumper in the ACC. Yep. So from sophomore or freshman.
How about that?
Yeah.
Nice.
So and then overall this year she was I think she was number 4 as far as height.
PR.
Yeah.
Highest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but the number 1 girl is jumping like 6'1".
Ooh.
So she's from Stanford, great athlete, and then probably the others floating in there about 5'11", 6 feet, something like that. So Tyler can get there. She's just got to, learn. You're not going to show up and just blow the socks off everybody. So we're excited about it.
Well,
it's
awesome
fun.
Story where she was a dancer for 10 years and didn't really do anything in athletics, right?
Yeah. It was. Dancer. Yep. It's neat. We just feel blessed to, have the opportunity to go have something cool like that to do for the next 3 years. Now we've got the Olympics out there in 2028. We talk about, but listen, if you're jumping 5'11" or 5'10" or whatever, you ain't gonna be in the Olympics.
No,
so you got to get up. You got to keep going. So we'll see. But it's fun to talk about. So.
And then again, a great story is that she's a dancer for 10 years, then decides to try to do some athletics, and first meet has like an avulsion fracture of her hip.
She did. You got a good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had some stuff like that, but the turned ankle is the turned ankle. And the little thing with her back is she really kind of bulked up. I mean, she was really lifting a lot and just doing too much. She was doing her own thing here and the stuff that UNC gave her. And the UNC coaches were, hold on a second. We just want you to do the stuff that we give you, And so she just overdid it. But
I wonder if track and field is the. It seems like that's the sport where you can pivot if you've got some athleticism and make something of yourself.
To go from that to something
I think
else.
of like a Tyler Robinson at Croatan. I think of Josh Williams at West.
Basketball.
Brandon Hodges, where you're like a lot of these people, they don't really get into track until their junior, senior year.
Well, Josh pivoted from track and field into being a model.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I'm not sure if I'm following that.
He pivoted from basketball to track, and then all of a sudden it was like you could have a scholarship if you wanted.
Josh was talented. Yeah.
I just don't think you see that with a lot of sports.
When she returned from that hip avulsion fracture,
she's fine.
Every time she competed in a state championship meet, she won it after that.
Oh yeah,
it was 4 in a row, right?
Yep.
It was winter, spring, winter, spring.
Yeah.
Sophomore, junior.
Yep, she did.
And went national runner-up and then national champion.
You got it.
I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, she's
I
a
know.
good high jumper. Yeah, yep.
Well, we know where she gets the jumping genes from.
From mom.
Oh, from mom.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
you say that, but what's the dunk contest back in the day?
Well, that's.
Well,
Let's talk about Furman basketball.
Well, wait
Let's
a
not
minute.
talk about me.
Hold on.
They're in the big dance.
He didn't win a dunk contest in like Kinston, which that'd be pretty impressive actually to win a dunk contest.
It
That
would
might be
be.
more impressive than anywhere he actually won. But won one in Belgium.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hello.
Well.
How do we end up in a dunk contest in Belgium?
At Furman, I played basketball in college at Furman,
Right.
and we were over there playing various
Like a tour.
pro teams, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and they had dunk contests. But listen, those guys over there didn't know how to dunk.
Belgium's not basketball hotbed. Is that what
Hey,
you're saying?
I grew up in Kinston.
Right.
I mean,
Belgium's nothing.
they could probably outshoot me, but they didn't know how to dunk a basketball.
still fun to have that moment.
Yeah.
Then he goes to law school at North Carolina Central, wins 2 dunk contests there. That's
Well,
pretty good.
yeah, these are glory days. Yeah, I can barely remember this stuff.
What was the vertical back in the day? What was the top number you hit? Do you remember?
I don't even know.
No.
It probably wasn't 40, but it was 30 something.
That's pretty good.
It was good. I don't know. I was okay jumper off 2 feet and
What was our
was
go-to moves that won the dunk contest for us?
just
Win-
kind of stuff like that. Throw it up and catch it backwards, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I had a little injury bug too at Furman. I blew out my ACL in my second
wow.
year, so I really had to fight that.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that was
I cut down the vertical a bit
actually my vertical was higher after that
because of the weight room.
because
The physical
because
therapy.
we had our trainers work me to death.
Yeah.
But it was really hard to get back, to where you were before. And then in between blowing out my ACL in 1993, my second year in college, and then I missed the whole next year because back in 1993, when you blew out an ACL, a lot of times you were done because it wasn't the scope they do now. It was to open the whole thing up.
Oh, you got a nice scar, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
big
wow.
scar. And so, I mean, now they can get you back up and rolling, in 6 months pretty well, I think. I missed the entire next year, and then we lost our coach who recruited me, so kind of had some turmoil to deal with, but it was all good. I mean, that's just life lessons. That's just you just go through stuff like that in sports.
You're very modest, but you're not lying when you said that Tyler just didn't get all her athletic genes from her. On her mom's side, there's a long history of Carolina people, right?
Yeah, Dad was a quarterback. Both brothers played football, and then Darlie, my wife, she was a dance team. Sister Jenny she was a cheerleader. So yeah, a lot of UNC going on. So now why that Duke trip was so painful for Tyler for the track and field.
Like Gail Bomar.
Yeah, he played
back in the 60s.
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, under Dooley was the coach. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we got a lot of sports going on in our
Would she have
family.
been shunned from the family if she'd have chose Duke, you think? Would that
Nah, we love Tyler. It'd be whatever it's going to be. It's we didn't really even think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was.
You wanted to go.
But I mean, give it to Duke. It was a good visit, and the track facilities were not what Carolina's are, to be frank with you. The food was really good. I do remember that. The accommodations were great.
It all worked out the way.
It was good, and it was a good trip. But those trips, talking about we're kind of jumping all over the place, and it's probably my fault. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Those recruiting trips to me are a little bit of a headache. I don't really like them very much because the state one and the Duke one it was a recruiting weekend with a football game, and that's the way they normally do it. And so you're getting herded around.
They know how to get you.
Well, you're getting herded around. You're getting herded, and it was funny when we went to Duke. All the parents are like, "Tell us about your training. Well, who's your trainer? What's your workout routine? Where do you travel to get your training and all this?" And we're like, "Well, we don't have one."
We got a guy in town who's wonderful.
Yeah, a guy who played baseball, D2 baseball.
No, we kid. Grant Kelly's program is amazing.
Grant's awesome. Yeah.
He's killing it.
But no,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right. You're dealing with
Junior.
Oh, they were people from Seattle, from LA, from
absolutely.
Houston, Dallas, all over the place,
Right.
and those kids have been groomed.
From 5, probably,
Yeah.
right? 6,
Yes,
yeah.
and some of the things that the coaches were telling us at Duke and really otherwise is that we see that Tyler's upside is pretty high because she hadn't gotten this super high level training, and we think that she probably is going to improve more than the average athlete who comes in. But that's yet to be seen.
And plus the late start to the sport, right?
Late start, yeah, that's right. But we just feel blessed to have the opportunity. I mean, when you get hurt a little bit and then you can't really compete, you really appreciate those days when you can compete. Even if you're not quite at 100%, you're building your way up. You're just so thankful that God has given you the opportunity.
Yeah. This is it.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Wes, you mentioned earlier about how 1 out of every 52 players who's ever suited up for Kinston played in the NBA. Baxter Holmes in 2018, and there's been a lot of national stories written about Kinston, but I feel like this is the one. He wrote a gigantic piece for ESPN, a long-form piece called America's Basketball Heaven, and that's the stat he had, that he said that in the United States, 3 out of every 10,000 high school basketball players make it to the NBA. And in Kinston, it's 1 out of every 52. So you are 63 times greater chance when you grow up in Kinston.
You got a 2% chance to go play. That's insane.
Yeah, and that's the 72 to 73 season, which I guess is when Kinston started, I guess.
Yeah.
And he said part of the reason is kind of like Wes was talking about the culture of basketball in Kinston. Is the town boasts 10 gyms, countless playground parks, more than 60 youth teams.
Yep. And if you lose, you sit out for like 3 hours, so you better not lose. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So what was, when you're growing up, who are you looking up to? Who's the Kinston legends that you're looking up to that you want to become one day? You want to wear that jersey?
There's all that.
Green jersey.
A lot of motivation because I guess that's a good point. It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get there because everybody knows somebody who has gotten there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows Brandon Ingram and his family.
Yeah.
And the Dawson family and the Stackhouse family and the Bullock family and so it's not just a pie in the sky possibility. It's like, hey, if you want to really make it, go. And I tell my kids here, I tell my kids all the time, set your goals high. My goals weren't to play at Furman. I'm very proud I did.
Sure.
But I wanted to play in the ACC. But I worked to get as good as I could get. And I got a lot out of that. I got a full ride to a great school and got to play in college and all that kind of stuff. Didn't quite make it where I wanted to. So think about these guys in Kinston. Some of these young men grow up in probably maybe difficult circumstances. Sure. Some do, some don't. And so if they've got that motivation to be a Brandon Ingram or to be a Jerry Stackhouse and they don't quite make it, it might get them a free college, free education.
Yeah.
It might get them to, wherever they wouldn't get otherwise.
That's right.
So, isn't that great for a place like Kinston?
Who were you looking at?
Like
Charles Shackelford, was that your guy?
I remember when I was a kid walking around Kinston High School gym, amazed at how big his feet were. I mean, he sat on the bench and his feet looked like they were as long as this table. I'm sitting at a table that's like 3 feet long. He's a big dude, and I know he's passed away since.
But middle school when he was in high school.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was the guy. I mean, I think that Perry's right when he says it just goes so deep because some of the guys a little bit older than me, one of our really good referees in Eastern North Carolina, really across North Carolina still, Leo Lockhart, he played at Kinston, and he was a little bit ahead of me. He was a really good player. I looked up to Leo. J.J. Hudock was a really good player. He went to where did he go? Not James Madison. Where did he go? GW. George Washington. He went to George Washington, which is mid-major D1, 6'8" guy, good player. There was just every I think class that comes along, the younger kids are just looking up to who's playing there at Kinston because Kinston is kind of special, as far as the basketball because it really is a privilege to be on the team because a lot of good players don't even make the cut.
Yeah. And you were probably like in elementary school when Cedric Maxwell was playing. Was that the age difference?
Oh, I wasn't even in Kinston then. That was that was before. Yeah.
Was it more about the program or the people that had come from the program as you were coming into high school and you were excited about being able to play for that team?
I think probably more about the coach because Paul Jones had been there a long time and he had a lot of success.
Okay.
And
so you were in good hands.
Well, if Paul Jones took an interest in you as a basketball player, that was special. And so he took an interest in me. I remember wanting to get better but not knowing what to do to get better. And so he would get me in the gym with the cones and we worked on footwork and we worked on how to catch the ball, how to square up, how to finish in different ways. And he spent a lot of time with me, as he did with other players as well, including Jerry. Just his own individual time. He wasn't getting paid for it. He's just a coach, just to make his team better, make his players better, so on and so forth. So I'll never forget that. I don't think that I would have gotten to the college level at all without him taking an interest in me, grabbing me, saying, "Hey, we want to try to develop you," and so on and so forth. And that helped a lot. So that personal one-on-one was something that Paul Jones was doing in Kinston, and I bet Perry still does that kind of stuff. But that's kind of like college level stuff, because, when you get in college, it's a completely different animal with regard to your basketball, because there's a lot of individual stuff that you're doing where the coaches are working you out doing this drill or that drill or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's not just going to practice and doing the team thing.
Sure.
You're doing you're doing lifting weights, you're getting up early and doing stuff you don't want to do and never do again, but, hard stuff, but a lot of development. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there's more of a level of that with Paul Jones, I think, than with some other coaches.
That prepares you to play at the next level.
Yeah, it makes you better. I mean, if you are just a good athlete and tall, that's not going to get you but so far.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because you think of Kinston just winning state titles forever and all the time, but they've really bunched them up. They won in 50, 55, 56. They didn't win again until 64, then won 64 and 65. And then from 65, they didn't win another one until 2008. And then it was 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2015, and now 2026. So those cycles have come through, I guess. Those, 12, 13,
it's really
15 is Brandon Ingram.
It's really the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years is where it's really gotten hot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's for sure.
Yeah.
It's so funny you mentioned Leo Lockhart. Normally that wouldn't ring a bell to me, but the North Carolina High School Athletic Association sent out an email today of their newest Hall of Fame class.
Yeah.
Lockhart?
And he's
As a ref?
He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo was a really good basketball player.
So
yeah,
he's
definitely.
worked contest. It was official for 27 years, basketball and volleyball.
Yeah, nice guy.
12 state championships he's worked, won all kinds of awards. So, yeah, he's a real deal.
Yep. Another Kinston guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So he was a little bit ahead of me, maybe 3 years ahead, something like that.
Okay.
So maybe something like that.
Well, you can't do one of these podcasts without having a question like, who's your all-time Kinston starting five?
Oh, my goodness. All time?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you exactly who it is. It's this is pretty simple. Brandon Ingram, Cedric Maxwell, Jerry Stackhouse, Reggie Bullock, and Charles Shackford. How's that sound?
Well,
That's not like the right answer.
Who's playing point guard in that? I'll give it to. I'll let Reggie Bullock or Jerry bring it up.
There you go.
And then I think we're just going to destroy him in the post. Whoever we're playing, Cedric Maxwell, Charles Shackford, Brandon Ingram. I mean, that's pretty strong.
And there's probably two or three who make a very good bench from that list, right?
Yeah, Tony Dawson and Herbert Hill. He's a guy I think he played at Georgetown, and then he went to the NBA. So I got an All NBA. Starting five from Kinston. So
Maxwell's an
pretty
all-star.
easy.
Jerry's just an all-star. Ingram almost made the all-star team this year. I mean, he was really flirting with it. So you got a lot of all-stars.
I think he did. He did.
Oh, did he give a replacement?
Yep. Somebody, maybe Steph Curry couldn't play or somebody, and they put him in. Okay. Yeah. He was all-star. Yeah.
What was it like when you're playing with Jerry Stackhouse and you're going to these gyms, and I'm imagining the crowds are turning out and the college coaches are there. What was that like?
It was awesome. It was people standing outside, can't get in, that kind of thing. And it was like that everywhere you went. It didn't matter. Back then we were 4A, Kinston was. So we played Wilson Hunt, Wilson Fike, Northeastern, Grenville Rose, Rocky Mount, Northern Nash. So kind of, bigger high schools really than I think they're like 2A now because Kinston's, their population's gone down a little bit.
No doubt.
And it was just, they all wanted to see Jerry. I mean, they just knew who he was, and he was a dynamic player, and it was just packed. It was a packed house every single time. So it was cool. It was like kind of felt like a celebrity, but they weren't there to see anybody but him. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, I probably would have averaged a lot more points a game if he wasn't on my team, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. But we shared the ball, and I can't not mention some of the other guys we had on our team. Especially our team was mainly Jerry was the best player by far, no doubt. And then there was a kid, Chuck Jones, who went to ECU. So, I mean, we had 3 D1 players, and we have 1 NBA player and 2 other D1 players. So, anyway, we didn't win the state championship, but it was fun.
Tough, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was tough, but, that's just the way it is. I mean, you end up getting down to the last games, you're going to play tough competition.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get over the hump against Richmond County, I think is who we played. Lost in overtime, and that's, happens. At Minges, we were playing at Minges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. That's where the regional finals used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, so were you looking over and there was Dean Smith in the crowd and like assistants?
Yeah, there was some of that happen. Les Robinson, who was at NC State, was a lot of our stuff.
Okay.
I remember my dad drove us to. It was me, Jerry, Chuck Jones, and my dad drove us in the old station wagon up from Kinston to a game at Reynolds. We were invited to go to a game there against Wake Forest, and Les Robinson was the coach. So Jimmy V was out at that point in time. But I remember because we were invited to go up there, and I didn't really know all the details because Coach Jones had put it all together. My dad was just the transportation. So we went up to the game, went to the game and everything, and finally we got kind of into the back, like the inner layer or whatever, of NC State basketball. And Les Robinson and the other coaching staff kind of walked around the corner to introduce themselves. And I don't think that he saw me at all or Chuck. He just went straight to Jerry and said, okay, so this is Jerry Stackhouse. And I learned later on that NC State actually – was going to offer both Chuck Jones, who was between me and Jerry. I was a senior. Chuck was a junior, and Jerry was a sophomore. They were going to offer Chuck, even though they wouldn't offer him independently if Jerry would come too. They were going to take him as a package deal because they were pretty close friends. I learned that later on through just connections I had through coaches and stuff in college, because one of the coaches who was an assistant coach at NC State ended up being an assistant at Furman later on. I was playing, and we were talking about all that. And that guy actually coached with Stackhouse at Vanderbilt too. But anyway, the Stackhouse thing was a phenomenon, definitely, and it was fun to be a part of it. Yeah. Just be along for the ride. Yeah.
And you ended up transferring to Oak Hill, right?
Oh yeah. Went up there, just lit it on fire. Could go wherever he wanted to. Best high school player in the country, and he's been good at every level. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you went to Furman, did you get some run? Did you get on the floor?
A little bit, but I ran into that knee issue.
And that set you back.
And that set me back. It's kind of like my first year. I redshirted my first year. My redshirt freshman year, which had been my second year, started getting some playing time. Started getting into the rotation. Landed bad in practice. ACL out. So missed the entire next year. And so I had 2 more years, and I played some, but not as much as I wanted to. I was battling a little bit. Kind of had a little of the new coach issue happen a little bit, where he brings in his new guys and that kind of thing. I'm with the old group. So, but those are all life lessons. Like I said, it makes you kind of be able to persevere through things in real life, a little bit better.
'Cause that happens in real life too.
Yeah, you don't always get what you want.
No.
Yeah, it was great though. I enjoyed the Furman situation, but we haven't even talked about Furman yet. I got to talk about Furman.
Furman before the tournament. Your Paladins are back in the big dance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in Furman country right now. I'm in like ECU, Pirates, and Duke, Carolina, and State.
What is a Paladin, by the way?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It's
a paladin. A paladin. It's like
Is it a horse?
No, it's like an old soldier.
What is it?
Combine those two. It's a knight on a horse.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So, yes, let's talk about my paladins. I mean, you can't see this on the podcast, but I got my. I don't get to wear my Furman gear around here up there because So, but I did wear my sweatshirt. So Furman had 3 years ago, they had not been in the NCAA tournament for 43 years.
43.
You may remember that.
Wow.
Yeah, so they played in the SoCon, and that's a one-bid league. You got to win the conference. They've gotten close to having 2 bids, but they've never gotten it. So anyway, it's a good league. I think it's a high-level league of basketball, but be it as it may, it's still a mid-major D1 basketball league. It's got UNCG and some of the teams that kind of at the bottom normally, the military schools like Citadel, VMI.
Greensboro's had
UNCG's had some good teams. Yeah. ETSU's good. Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's a good basketball league.
Yeah, ETSU gave UNC a good game this year. Yeah. That's who we played in the championship this year. So I mean, it's a good mid-major league. So Case and I, my son, we went to the game where they played down in Orlando because it's been 43 years. This was 3 years ago. This is when they played Virginia, and if you remember where at the guy from Virginia is like the very end of the game, he throws the ball down the court. Garrett Heen gets it. One of our big guys, passes it to J.P. Pegues, and he hits like a 28-foot jumper to win the game by 1 right at the end. And that was probably the most exhilarating basketball moment I've ever been involved in, because that Orlando, whatever the Orlando arena is down there, it was packed for the next game, like Duke game or somebody with Tennessee, it was packed. But everybody was pulling for Furman.
Sure.
Because we're little Furman playing UVA. And when J.P. Pegues hit that shot, that place went freaking crazy.
Wow.
It went crazy. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. So I had a bunch of my old buddies there who played and stuff. So it was really, really cool, and it was fun. We didn't win the next game, played San Diego State, but they went to the championship.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I mean, they had some men on that team, no doubt. So this year they
I'll go for 43 years. Now we've been twice.
Didn't make it the last 2 years, but they played ETSU in the championship, and just I'm gonna throw some names out there just because I feel like I need to. So Cooper Bowser is a 6'11" kid from DC, who I think he went 8 for 9 that game against ETSU. Just really good around the paint. That was, my son Kaysen was there for a year as a walk-on. That was his roommate, so they're pretty close.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty neat. We've talked a lot about injuries today. Furman was kind of banged up this year, and they really had to dig deep into their bench. But toward the end of the year, they got their they kind of got everybody back, and they're the 5th biggest team. D1 in the country.
Oh, wow.
They start 6'11", 6'11", 6'8", 6'6". Their point guard is 6'5". So they got some size. So they're not really a team that if I'm a 15 seed, I really want to play because they do have some size. But who wants to play Dan Hurley? I mean, we're playing UConn. Oh, God. I mean, that's going to be rough.
That's a tough risk.
I was talking with my roommate who played ball with me at Furman the other day. I said, "What do you think about this game, Jeff?" He said, "Man, I just don't want it to be embarrassing. That's all. UConn is not really who I would choose to play, especially after St. John's just beat the pants off of them.
Yeah.
So at any rate, it'll be fun to watch, and I'm just excited that they're in. And do have to mention Bob Ritchie, our coach. He's been there 7 or 8 years now, and Furman is the kind of place that when you start having success, a lot of times you get plucked away. And so Bob has been more of the mindset that he's going to build the program down there at Furman. He's gotten a lot of buy-in from the community. Just did a $40 million renovation to the Timmons Arena where they play, which is really nice. That's important, very important for all aspects. Recruiting is a big part of that. You bring kids in, you need to have a nice place. And I think that he's more of the mindset, like I said, he's just going to rock and roll and build this thing. He's kind of an entrepreneur spirit instead of parlaying it into, a bigger paycheck. He's had chances to take the paycheck, but I think that Furman's taking care of him pretty well. And he's getting the fruits of his labor. So, and I've talked to him about it a little bit. I know Bob fairly well. And I've encouraged him over the years to just do what like Bob McKillop at Davidson did, if you remember anything about him. Davidson kind of did the same thing. They had Bob McKillop was the coach who was there, and he stayed. And he stayed,
Yeah.
and he stayed, and he stayed. And he kind of parlayed that out of the SoCon. They used to be in the SoCon to the A10, which is a step up basketball-wise. We had Steph Curry. That helped. But just, staying and having that consistency and building and just deciding I'm going to do it that way instead of jumping to the next job, that appeals to some people. And it helps programs. So we're lucky to have Bob Ritchie. He's a good guy, good coach, good program builder, good culture at the program. So, that the reason we've gotten back twice is because of him, because he's built this thing. So, I know people around Carter County don't care at all, but this is my 1 minute.
Your chance.
Give me my 1 minute.
When you were in school, did you know you were going to go into the law?
When I got my grades, the law.
That's kind of fancy.
Dun, dun, dun. When I got my grades back on exams in chemistry and biology, I figured I need to go into something else.
Medicine wasn't going to be the law.
Just to work too hard for those poor grades.
Yeah.
But no, it suits me. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and it's kind of similar to sports. To be honest with you, I litigate. That's what I do. I go to court.
Oh, some competition.
I go to court. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like getting ready for the big game.
Yeah.
And I expect lawyers on the other side, to totally attack me if I mess something up. Cut my legs out from underneath me if I mess it up. But guess what? I'm gonna do the same thing to you. And then after the game is over, the trial or whatever, I'm gonna hug you and love you, man. It's all good.
The handshake line.
I mean, it's not like I don't like you. What do you do in college basketball? Well, a lot of people don't know this, or maybe they do. I don't know. There's a heck of a lot of scouting that goes on for every game. At least there was when I played. So you know who you're playing, and you know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. You know what kind of defense you're going to see. You know all these things. It's not just the X's and O's with regard to like boxing out and making a good pass and setting good screens and are we going to switch screens or are we going to hedge screens. It's not just that. It's know your opponent. That just fits with what I do. Okay. You got to know your
Preparation and execution.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great as an attorney. I'm still, even though I can't touch
can't
even touch the net anymore. At least I can still kind
You
of.
probably could.
Well, I don't know, maybe. At least I can still, mix
honestly,
it up.
Not to interrupt you, that was going to be one of my questions. 53, we're what, 6'5"?
I'm 6'5" and shrinking.
Can we can't throw it down anymore? There's no.
I wouldn't try. I would
It's not
not.
worth
the Achilles.
Yeah.
No, it's not worth it. I would not try. Now, if someone came along and said I got X amount of dollars and it'd have to be 7 figures of some sort, that'd be a high number.
Wow, 7 figures.
I mean, maybe 6 figures. I don't know. It would. And they gave me 6 months. I'd go to work. I'd go to work. I'd try to do it. And it kind of goes back to that old thing. Maybe I wouldn't achieve it, but it wouldn't hurt me to try, unless I tried and hurt my knee or something. But still, no, that's, just wait. How old are you guys? You guys are a lot younger than I am. Just wait.
He ain't too much younger now.
Yeah. 53.
No, even the other day I was up, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet off the ground, and there was a chance to just kind of jump down a little bit. And I thought this might be the last time that I can do this without worrying.
Do you see the video of Marcus Johnson? Used to play with the Lakers back in the day. He dunks on every birthday. He turned 7 the other day. He dunked on his birthday.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
He's
But
probably he's a little taller than me.
Yeah, he's about like 6'11",
longer arms.
I think, yeah.
I'm an average size 6'5" guy. I do want to mention, before we sign off, I don't know how much time we got, but I think that here in Carteret County, I think that we have some really great people, sports people. I mean, we've got Dexter Williams. I mean, he's just been an ambassador, for sports
We might
here.
have a story running on him this weekend in our newspaper.
Okay, well, good deal. I mean, he's a good dude all around.
Timing.
I'll have to take
Yeah, well, and his family and his kids, his sons are great.
Yeah.
We've got, I think, obviously John at Croatan is doing a great job.
Former
we got
dunker, John Humphrey.
Oh man, I used to play with him.
Man.
Yeah, he dunked a lot better
And
than I
he's
could.
a SoCon guy, right? East Tennessee.
No, he played Middle Tennessee
Middle
State,
Tennessee,
and that's
my
a
bad,
different. That's
my bad.
same kind of level, mid-major.
Okay.
Yeah, good guy. Really, how much he bench presses? He does this stuff on like social media. He's bench pressing like 400 pounds,
Okay.
and he's like maybe not 400, 3 something, and he's not that. I mean, I couldn't even. I mean,
He's a golfer. too,
he's
right?
stayed in shape.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Will over at West, great friend,
Kennan,
great coach.
Former Patriots standout.
Mark, former coach, and
Mark
Mindy and Matt. God, we used to have some great runs when we played basketball. When I lived in Kinston, grew up in Kinston, I'd come down here. I was lucky enough to be able to come down here a little bit and had great runs over there in the summer when I was playing college ball and at the Sports Center with some of those guys. So we've got a lot of really strong foundation and fabric. And I'm not even touching on the areas I don't know about. Baseball, obviously. I don't really know about baseball as much.
Major League Baseball.
Well, we got Lonnie Chisholm, right. So, and then football guys, Curtis Struck and CJ, they're so strong with ECU and such a pillar of the community. So we just got a lot of strong sports background folks around here too. And so there's nothing that holds a place back like Carteret County from reaching higher levels in our sports. Not at all. I mean, I don't think that like Kinston, because it's got kind of that lore or whatever, that it's special. I mean, I think it is special, but I think that other places could do it too.
Well, the sport your daughter competes in, we certainly produce that, man. Track and field across the country is unbelievable what we produce in this county.
Yeah, no, I think that we just got a lot of great people. And anybody I've left out, I'm sure I'm left some people out because I just threw some names around there. But I think Carteret County is a very special place, and for many, many reasons. I can go into lots of reasons that don't have anything to do with sports, but I think that we just got a really strong sports fabric, as well. Robert Lancaster, I mean, he was in the background with West Carteret basketball forever. That dude, he was like the backbone for Robert. I mean, that's what a good guy, So just across the board, and I hope to continue to see that grow, and I really hope that the community college gets basketball. I want to see some basketball here locally at the college level.
Basketball in Carteret County.
I would love to see that. I think that'd be awesome. I know that they've got plans with regard to other stuff, and I listen to y'all's podcast about that. And was it baseball? I think
baseball,
volleyball,
cross country,
and soccer. Okay, yeah.
Well, men's baseball, women's soccer, and then men's and women's cross country. I gotta imagine there's more coming.
Yeah,
that's just the foundation.
That's my wish list. Like, basketball.
Who do you play?
College basketball in your backyard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have anything to do with it other than just go sit there and watch it. I don't want to coach. I want to
just enjoy it. How'd you end up in Morehead City?
Good question. Okay, so my folks had a little mobile home over behind Marshes, and so
summer beach people.
Yep, and what's better than come down, hang out, fish, wait tables, and go play basketball at the Sports Center.
Oh, where'd you wait tables at?
I waited at the Sanitary.
There you go.
Franco's used to be an Italian restaurant over on the beach.
Yeah,
that was a good summer stuff, but I was in the gym a lot, staying in shape, doing that kind of thing as well. And then, when I got kind of close to finishing law school, I was like, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to Charlotte or, stay here? I was working at a firm in Durham, or do I want to go to really where I want to end up? And I moved here, and that was in 2000 or 99. So it was 26 years ago.
Okay.
I think there was like one grocery store, and they're just, it was like what it was in the winter. I mean, it was like no traffic or anything. And so it's really changed a lot, but it's still kept its roots though. I really appreciate Carteret County being as such, kind of salt of the earth. You are who you are kind of person, or you are who you are kind of town. Not pretentious.
It's not pretentious. 100%.
And that there are a lot of places that are. It makes.
I'm learning that as I meet more and more people in this county who are. I think they really enjoy that you can still be top of your game here, but not be.
Nobody's really concerned about what kind of car you're driving.
That's right.
And I love that. I mean and there's a lot of places that are not like that.
That's right.
And not that I'm trying to disparage people who drive nice cars. I don't care if you drive a nice car.
No,
that's
Tier 3
great.
County. Yeah, don't mistake it.
I mean, you can drive a nice
beach county. And
yeah,
it's a beach environment. The culture is very relaxed.
Yeah, it's relaxed. It's relaxed, and that may fight sports a little bit when you're relaxed. There's a rub, but you still can have a lot of success. And especially with some of the people, the fabric of sports here. And I do want to ask this because I heard so much about the McBride kid. Canaan, is that his name?
Canaan McBride.
McBride?
That's
I haven't seen
Zach's number one story.
Well, I haven't seen him play, but I've heard so much good stuff, and I can't wait to see what the kid does next year.
He's legit.
He's
I
legit.
mean, he seems like he must have hand-eye coordination.
You ought to watch him just kick a football. That's
Yeah.
fun. That's just watch him doing that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, I used to play ball with his dad.
Scott,
Yeah,
sure,
Scott.
sure.
He would play with Sports Center and stuff like that,
of
you know,
course.
back in the day. But really excited for him,
Well,
you
we'll have to
know.
have you back on sometime. And we'll talk Sports Center basketball back in the day.
Yeah.
What those runs were like.
Yeah. Tracy Williams
Yeah,
and
Tracy Williams.
Dexter played a bunch.
Yeah.
and
There was a culture, man.
It was at White Courts down.
Uh-huh.
Used to play the White Courts down there where they took the goals down. Can't play
Yeah.
anymore. They took them down 20 years ago, however long ago.
It's been a minute.
But we can do that. But
man. We'll have to do an old school Sports Center White Courts episode.
Yeah, well, bring me back because I've enjoyed it, and
Yeah, man.
I can update you on. Let's see, what do you want to talk about? Furman basketball. We got to do that first,
You might do a whole episode on that, wouldn't you?
and the likelihood that we're not back, or the likelihood we're back in the NCAA tournament next year is probably not high. We'll have to see. But if we do get back in it, you have to get me back.
Sure.
I'll talk more Kinston basketball.
Maybe they go to Elite 8 or Sweet
Yeah,
16.
maybe we'll have you back in a couple
weeks.
weeks when they're making-
Yeah, that's right. We can talk Stackhouse. We can talk Kinston. You know, whatever you want to talk about. Anderson basketball,
Yeah.
Carolina track and field.
You got
You
a
know?
lot.
Yeah, I've got more I can talk about Carolina track and field. I tell you one thing about Carolina track and field: it's nice and they take care of you. But when you make the ACC championship, they really take care of you.
Oh, you're special.
It goes from all Nike gear to all Jordan gear.
Oh,
So you get
the next level.
they get geared out nice.
That's what reminds
You
me of
get-
when Chapel Hill High School came down. Just saying, you get out of this different thing out there.
Yeah,
world.
but I mean, nice hotel, big per diem.
Yeah.
All you can eat food at this really nice restaurant right there. I mean, so it goes from being nice and certainly high quality to another level when you make it, because I only think about 20% of the team makes the ACCs,
Okay.
maybe 25. I'm not sure.
Championships.
Yeah, once you reach that level, then that's what you're playing for all year, because what you're doing is you're just going to the track meets
Just
to qualify.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, and then you get to the championship, and then you're competing against everybody for points, and so it goes up as far as the level of poshness and gear drop. Yeah, Tyler was sending me all these texts. Look at this, Daddy. Look at this, Daddy. I'm like, well, good. Keep up the good work.
Get an extra one for Pops.
Yeah, I know. Got an XL in there?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think she could get an XL, but anyway. Yeah.
Wes, man, thanks so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, this is great. I appreciate it. Yep, I like sports, and I like talking about sports. So bring me back.
Good, man.
Go Carteret County. I'm a big-time supporter of all these people around here and all these sports programs. And McBride, can't wait to see what he does. I mean, I'm a equal opportunity fan for
Oh,
everybody.
does it have to just be Wes Carter?
Nah,
Okay.
I'd love seeing kids achieve.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many challenges out there to achieve. To get to that level of college,
Yeah.
you got to be legit. I don't care what level you're playing. So I want to see more kids get out of here and do that. Not to get out of here. I'm getting.
No, yeah.
Come on back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you, man.